Welcome to Entering the Darkness podcast. This is Colin, and of course, my co host Dan. We are, of course, Entering the Darkness podcast. We are here with two of the members of American Overdose. We've got Cody, and we've also got Captain Insano here. These guys are definitely a very, very influential band here. We're really, really happy to have them on. And as it appears, it looks like they're going to be playing with Head PE pretty soon. So that's pretty awesome.
Oh
And
yeah.
so, welcome, guys. Introduce yourselves.
Cody Perez, vocalist, American Overdose.
I'm Rommel. I'm bass player.
The bass player. Right on. Right on. So, Dan, do you want to start us out a little bit?
Yeah, Jesus, man, I got so many questions, man. Dude, I first of all, thanks for coming on, both of you guys. Man, your guys' sound is I don't even know how to describe it. Your guys' sound is something familiar with the new metal genre, but you guys have so much shit going on just besides that aspect. Like you guys got so much shit going on. It's like a fucking gumbo, man. You guys sound amazing, but it's something fresh and new with a very old take. Did you guys plan that? Is it something that you hope to create, or is it just something that just happened from everybody's influences in the band?
It's something that's just evolved, man. Honestly, like it started when we started this project back in 2009. It was right like at the peak of like deathcore and metalcore, and new metal was not popular. Like it was a bad word. Even the new metal bands were saying they weren't new metal. So when I started the band, I'm like, I want to do new metal. I love new metal, but I want to do it in a more modern, back then modern style. And so over the years, it's evolved. It's gotten progressively better, and we've kind of honed in on it, and we've seen the things that work for us and the things that don't work for us, and then the things that do work, we've just like kind of turn up the volume even more every time. It seems like on this new album, I don't know if you guys have gotten to check it out yet, Artificial Infection.
Mm.
You can really tell the difference between the new album and the previous album, The Great American Dream, and the progression. The sound's still there, but it's like our sound on steroids. And the new stuff that we're doing right now is even that much better as well. And it's just continuing to get up there. But yeah, it was done with intention of taking our influences, a ton of them from from the 90s and early 2000s, and just how do we do it in a modern tone, and we're not sounding exactly like this band, because we don't want to be a carbon copy of someone else. We want to be like, I think Rommel has said this before, but like grab your like 10 favorite fucking bands and put them in a blender, and
Mhm.
Gumbo.
yeah.
Huge combo.
Gumbo, yeah. Gumbo, I like that.
That's one of the things. Though I've been listening to you guys, and I'm like, man, you guys like it's hard to put my thumb on anything. Like I think I want to lean this way, okay, and then I'm like, no, you guys take me this way, and then oh no, you're taking me this way. I'm like, but it sounds familiar, but it's not familiar because it's new.
Definitely. And we have, I mean, the guys in the band, we love a lot of the same stuff, but we all come from different backgrounds of music that we like and stuff. So Rommel's actually a drummer as well. So we have multi-talented musicians in the band, and that really helps us with coming up with ideas and throwing suggestions out and influences and all that stuff. So
So, Cody, I have a little bit of a question here for you here, because I'd seen a few times before too about there was a little feud between you and OTEP, was it?
Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you!
oh god, yeah. That dude, that's never gonna escape us. That will
Oh,
never escape us. We
oh my
definitely
gosh.
we definitely had a feud, and I mean, I think it's going to be something that'll last forever, because it's always getting brought up. I have
Mhm.
not changed my mind about her. I think she's a horrible person, and when I saw the news about her retiring from music and all that, I'm like,
Mhm.
promises, promises. It's
Mhm.
probably just something where she's just going through a phase,
Mhm.
and a couple of months from now, I'll be like, hey, surprise, I got a new album out. You know,
Mhm.
There's going to
Gosh.
be a farewell tour.
A
yeah,
farewell
farewell
tour.
tour, make some money, go away for a couple of months, work on music, and then she'll come back. And I
She
mean,
made
that's
money.
She made,
maybe,
yeah, right.
maybe.
Right.
What's
Because
funny
I
is that this guy Rommel, actually, before he was in the band, he used to
Yeah.
be our guy that did our merch, and he made the OTEP sucks shirts like right as the feud was happening, and people were buying them left and right, dude. And it was like people were buying them and wearing them to the shows and all sorts of shit. So
now, did she make you guys donate your merch funds to the PCA fund?
I don't think so. Ask Rommel was the one that made the money off of those.
Yeah, no.
Oh man,
I did it myself. He was all, dude, do it, sell it. I had like fucking 80 some orders I shipped out like first week, like all over the world. It was funny. And
and it's something to say. It's something to be said, Rommel. I don't mean to cut you off, brother, but I don't want to get us fucking sued or demonetized. But fuck it,
no,
I don't give a shit. But I've heard.
I just made him pay for shipping.
I've heard so many local bands, especially here in the state of Michigan, where I'm humbly living, Metro Detroit area. She's just a fucking nightmare to work with.
Well, you can name after me. My name's Josh Rommel, born 12385, live in Salem, Oregon. I'll be home.
Come find him.
I hear from so many people, and I'm like, that's a damn shame, man. Especially because when you get on the bill to open for somebody, you're like, man, dude, I really like these guys. I want to get our brand out, our band out. But when they're just an asshole, you're just like, man, fuck you.
I think, hey, Rommel, didn't you guys open up with Still Dead for OTEP at like back in the day? You guys opened up for her at the Satyricon? Yeah. So Rommel's band opened up for him.
She wouldn't let you have anything on stage. You couldn't do anything that would up her or nothing. So that you tell me that, I'm going to make sure that your stage is not going to be up to your standards when I leave it.
Well, shout out to the national bands. When you have locals open that are badass, kick ass, and bring the fucking game, stop being a fucking asshole. Because with streaming, nobody buys CDs anymore. Shit, I feel old even saying cassettes or vinyls. Nobody buys shit anymore. Fucking support these motherfuckers. There's no need to be a fucking dick because you're not living any larger. The only only difference between you and a local is that you have gas money to get your bus down the road to the next state.
Yeah.
And 100%. They have a warehouse that they can practice where we just find any kind of place we could pad up and play there. We all came from the same place.
Literally.
So Rommel and Cody, what's next for you guys going into the new year? Obviously you guys got some newer material out, but is there stuff in the plans for you guys moving into 2025?
Lots of videos. We just shot a video 2 weeks ago for a cover song. We haven't revealed what it is yet, but it's going to be a funny video. It's not a serious video. It's a cover. I can say it's from a 90s pop song, like a really popular pop song, and we made it fucking badass.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Century of lonely nights, waiting for someone to release me. You're licking your lips and blowing kisses my way, but that don't mean I'm gonna give it away, baby, baby, baby. Genie in a bottle, you can't rock me.
we had some fun doing that. So we'll have lots of videos, lots of new music. We're currently working with Johnny Santos from Spine Shank on
Oh,
all of the
sweet.
new music. So all the stuff he's co-producing, and it's fucking sounding killer. So hopefully, I'm assuming that probably around early February, if not late January, we'll probably have the video out. Like we want to give it some time to promote it before it comes out, but we'll have a new video out here in the next month or so, along with more videos. And we're planning on doing singles every 6 to 8 weeks this year. So there'll be a lot of new music that's going to be coming out. And so we're doing that. We're planning playing shows, obviously. If we get offered to go on, a tour or get on a national tour, we definitely will do it if it makes sense. And just writing a lot of music, man. Just keeping kicking ass. Like, we don't let anything stop us. We just keep rolling and rolling and rolling and fucking.
Do you guys feel the singles like every 6 to 8 weeks, like you said? Do you feel like that is the viable market moving forward, since nobody buys albums? Because essentially over 6 to 8 weeks, you're going to be releasing a song, putting out material. Do you guys both believe that that's like the viable market? The way the music industry is going moving forward is to put songs out one by one instead of like a whole album?
I'll let Rommel answer that first.
Sorry, the dog was barking. You doing singles?
Yeah, so like, every 6 to 8 weeks putting out a single. Do you guys believe that that's like the viable future going forward, since nobody's buying albums and this and that? Instead of putting it out on the stream, and you can do it one by one and kind of help build the following and keep the momentum going. It keeps people wanting more instead of just getting a whole album and saying, well, these 2 songs are good, the rest suck, or vice versa. You know how music consumers are.
Yeah, you got to keep pumping something out. It's not like in the old days, like when you had to stand in line at Ticketmaster to get your concert tickets, and you're okay waiting 2 years for the next album because that one was so rad and you overplayed it. But attention spans these days, I think, it's not what they used to be. The more you put out, the more people can stay interested. It's just a different change, I guess.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know.
Do you guys have any like any tour horror stories or anything like that?
Besides OTEP.
Besides that, yes. Besides that.
Oh shit, dude! I don't know. Rommel, do you want to tell some of the stories from some of the shit that's happened?
I don't know if there was any horror for us. I might as well cause for other people.
I had horror, motherfucker.
Oh yeah. Oh, you can tell that one.
Somebody think it was a fart and it was really a shit, and it was in like a horrible venue.
Pedo.
Oh yeah, pedo.
A horror story for pedo is a bathroom that doesn't have the doors on it.
Oh God,
the stalls.
Oh no.
There was one in Idaho. One of the venues, and that's the first thing I came out and I told Pete. I'm like, the other vocalist, I'm like, bro, you're gonna hate this venue, and he's like, why? And I'm like, because when you go take a dump in the bathroom, there's no door there. You're gonna have someone watch it for you, or someone's gonna fuck with you. And of course, he's just like, he figured it out. But well, I guess the first one that comes to mind now, and that I will always remember for the rest of my life, is I lost my mask earlier this year. One of my masks that I had custom made. We were on the road to go play Milwaukee Metal Fest in Wisconsin, and we had just, our van gets messy right a fucking way, but we like try to keep it as tight as we can, with 5-6 guys in the van cruising. So my mask is always usually like on a styrofoam head, right? And we put it in a styrofoam. I have it on a styrofoam head, and Rommel handed me this plastic bag, and he's like, here, so you can protect it, put it in this, Walmart bag or whatever. I put it in the Walmart bag, and, we just put it back there. And then, the next day after, we had a good night's rest, we decided to go to the gas station, fill up. And I'm like, let's get rid of all the trash as we can. There's a lot of shit back there. We got to get, started on a clean slate. Well, we, throw out all these bags and fucking this and that is, trash everywhere. And we're throwing in the trash cans at the gas station. And I think we're in Nebraska where we stayed. We were driving to Iowa. We had to go play a show in Sioux City. Is it Sioux City or Sioux Falls? Sioux City, something. Yeah, Iowa. It's in Iowa. Sioux City or Sioux Falls. I forget which one it is. I think it's Sioux City, Iowa.
Sioux Falls.
Anyways, Sioux Falls. Okay. So we're going to Sioux Falls, and we get to the venue. And usually, you know, the first thing we do is we go inside, scope it out, see, like, you know, come up with a plan of how we're going to get gear in, where merch is going to go, and all that shit. So I didn't think anything of anything until like right before we're, you know, trying to get ready to, you know, get our gear on and shit. We did sound check, we did setting up the merch, we, you know, I think we got some food or drinks or whatever figured out. And then when it came to doing makeup, I'm looking everywhere for my mask, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, where in the hell's my mask? Like, you know, I got makeup on, I got my gear on except for my mask. Looking everywhere, dude, like everywhere in the van. We looked in the van, I looked in the trailer, I looked under the seats, I looked inside the merch booth just to make, or the merch boxes, to make sure it wasn't in there. And I'm just like, oh my God, what the fuck happened? Did someone steal it or what? And somehow someone said, I think, you know what, it probably got thrown with the trash.
11 and a half hours ago.
Yeah, 11 and a half hours later. And fucking, oh, dude, like I got the sickest feeling in my stomach. And because I paid a lot of money for it. The guy who made me the mask, it was a custom made mask off the mold of my face. He was the same guy that did one of Corey Taylor's masks. So, and he cut me a badass deal.
Well, you did the full fucking green thing over, and you did the torture for hours to get it made.
Yeah. Well, the head cast, luckily the head cast was at home, so I didn't lose the head cast. And the head cast was done by a different guy out in Seattle. But the actual mask, I sent the head cast to this guy down in California, to Jacob is his name. And he made the custom mask based off of my mold. And he sent me the mold back with the mask and what have you. So we lost the mask, and everyone was just like I felt like I was going to have a heart attack. I'm not even going to lie. I was just so freaked out and like didn't know what to do. And I'm thinking the whole time, I'm like, dude, we have a show in a couple of days. We're playing Milwaukee Metal Fest. It's a huge thing. I don't have a backup mask on me. I have nothing, like, and I don't want to paint my face. And I paid a bunch of money for this mask, and all these thoughts were just going through my head. I couldn't even think straight. The guys were all really great. They were reaching out to the venue. They reached out to the hotel. They reached out to the gas station, all that shit to try to get it figured out. We couldn't figure it out. We ended up playing the show. I painted my face partially, but I was just still so upset and fucking just like, I just couldn't believe that it happened. We ended up figuring it out. Luckily, like, this guy that lived, a friend of ours lived out in Illinois, was coming out to the show, and he had a mask, a replica of one of my old masks. And he offered to bring it out to me to wear for the Milwaukee Metal Fest since he was going to be there. So he saved the day. So shout out to our buddy Kyle Cassidy out in Illinois for saving the day, man. Like, we hooked him up with some free stuff, signed a bunch of shit for him, got him up in the VIP area and what have you. So he was definitely the savior of that. That's the one that comes to mind when I first think about it. I'm sure Rommel's got his own horror stories.
God, that's horrible.
I only create horror.
You only create horror. I'm sure you've seen some shit though. What's something that comes to mind to you? I know some stories from the Still Dead days.
Oh, the dead seagull we were playing with for too many hours out in front in Long Beach. Gabe taking the shit in a red Solo cup in the RV and then opening the window.
Oh man, yeah.
Traffic.
Oh, didn't he throw it out too?
Yeah, he threw it out the window.
Oh my God, on the highway.
That was 13 of us in a bus in an RV, yeah, like a 32-footer. Oh man, that was.
You can't shit in the fucking bus though.
No. He shit in a Solo cup. He's like, and I was driving. He's like, dude, check this out, snow cone. We're like, oh,
he did the right thing, though.
And then, so you went shit in it, like, I don't know. We had a keg in the fridge, and I don't know if you did it there, if you went to the
snow cone.
Just opened the window and hucked it out. It's like LA traffic. I was like, oh God, hell yeah.
Snow cone.
Wow.
I blacked out on Watts Avenue once. I woke up with one shoe, and then we missed. Jagon was gone for all night. We didn't find him until like 2 hours after we were supposed to leave the next morning at the venue that was like 15 miles away, drinking out of the hose.
Damn.
So it sounds like life out on the road can be pretty interesting. Losing mask, shit snow cones, and a character named Vito that accidentally took a shit at a glory hole.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, anything and everything is possible.
If
Like
you put it through the hole, you're signing consent to whatever goes on it.
I was gonna say, yeah, you put whatever through that hole, and it's fair game.
It's like establishing dominance.
Sounds like a certain venue in Detroit that doesn't have no doors. Also,
Is that Harpo's?
Oh my God! Nope,
yep.
I'm not.
We played Harpo's. Harpo's.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
We played Harpo's in 2015 with Mushroomhead. That venue is the venue's fucking legendary, dude, because all the big, Pantera, Slipknot, Machine Head, all those fucking bands have played it. But that venue is a shithole. Like, it's fucking, and that city is shady, obviously. Like, fucking that whole area.
That part of the city.
Everyone says you go to the KFC. Do not go past the KFC because you're probably gonna get shot, robbed, or both.
A funny story. Back in the day, when I was like 18, 19, God, I feel old as hell now. But a guy that was singing for my band, we kind of had a jam thing going on. He used to stay with his grandma, who lived probably about 5 blocks past the KFC.
Oh,
so we used to go to these metal shows at said venue that were 15, 20 bucks at a time, and it was the only place you could underage drink.
Oh shit!
And we'd all go to my buddy's grandma's house, like deep in the hood, and just walk up the street like it was another day in the suburbs, and go to this venue and underage drink and catch a metal show for $15, $20.
Damn, dude.
I walked them streets. Now looking back on it, I'm like, shit, I have kids.
Well, that venue, dude, like you walk into the bathroom and there's like, I swear to God, there's like a permanent puddle of water or piss or a combination of everything.
That's happened. Yeah.
And the stage is like so high off the ground. Like people are looking like this just to see the show. Like it's, I had never seen anything like it, but I'd seen videos of bands playing it. So when we got there, I kind of knew that the stage was really high and whatnot, but I had no idea that the place was going to smell as bad as it did. I had no idea that security would not let us go out to the van without escorting us to and from the van. They wouldn't.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let us go in and out like without them being there because I guess the liquor store attracts a lot of bad people like right next door to it, and
they come across that bridge right where the bands all park. That bridge right across 94.
Yeah, and the first thing they said to us when we were leaving is like, when you get out of here, go 50 miles out of town. Do not stop for anybody. Some people might go in the middle of the road trying to stop you at like 2 o'clock in the morning. They're gonna rob you. They're like, just keep driving. Do not stop for anybody.
They made movies like this. RoboCop.
But they made porno movies like that too, though.
Yeah, that's true.
It's called RoboCop. We need OCP. We need
Seen a couple Bang Bus episodes that started like this.
Oh God.
Did they make a RoboCop porn parody?
Yes, I believe so. I know a Terminator one, I'm pretty sure.
Is it like Throwbocop or something?
Yeah.
Oh God.
So now I'd like to get to know you guys a little bit more here. We had a little bit of discussion beforehand, but you guys are super nerdy about wrestling and old school wrestling, which is just up my avenue.
Fucking A.
How has anybody ever been on stage and they've done like a wrestling town or something really nerdy, and you've looked at them and been like, "Oh my God, dude, you piece of shit! I got to keep a straight face." Somebody did the warrior thing.
I'll let Rommel talk about his, because Rommel's done like some cool videos and shit.
Back in the old Kill on Side days, Cody, we played Rock and Roll Pizza one time. They called us to play during the Portland wrestling. So like our whole set was just playing, and then the wrestlers coming out and just Mick Foley and shit around.
That's pretty badass.
And we're just playing. Oh, violence! Ah!
Hell yeah. That's fucking awesome.
And then I was like, oh my God, I want to jump off the stage and go over.
Get on the ring. Drop an elbow. Do a fucking splash.
The Warrior Splash.
Rommel actually dressed up as the Warrior this last summer at Rockfest.
Mm-hmm.
We played Rockfest out in Cadott, Wisconsin, and We have video of this, but Rommel dressed up as the warrior and he was running around the camp area, fucking shaking tents and shit. And
did you guys ever see that video before the Ultimate Warrior passed away? So it's like a couple years he was getting into the YouTube stuff.
Mhm.
Did you guys ever see that training video he put out with Asking Alexandria where he had him
Yeah,
come
it was
gym?
the Warrior Show. It was Amerakin Records.
I died
the
fucking
dude-
laughing.
That's the video you were telling me about. Rommel told me about it. I don't think I ever got to see it.
He was yelling at these guys. You're not going to get any pussy smoking cigarettes being fucking hungover. Now grab these weights and run down to the edge of the fucking driveway and you do it. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, and
Damn.
then when he smacked like the bottle of wine out of him, he's like, "That's fucking disrespectful." You don't come
I
here to
fucking
fuck with me.
laughed. It is
Yeah.
veins bulging out of his head. If
Yeah,
you
there was
can't carry these
There were
weights
two
down-
episodes.
Damn.
There was I See Stars and Asking Alexandria, and it was just like this girly men, and he was just beating the piss out of them.
Well, of course they pick like the bands that are not like they're not like the most metal guys. Like if you would have done that to like Phil Anselmo or fucking try to do that to like fucking
Couldn't do
Zach
Timberlake
Wilde. Can you imagine if you were trying to do that to Zach
turn
Wilde?
Could put Lemmy on there and see what he could do.
Yeah, exactly. Like
God.
put him with some real fucking metal guys.
You know,
Go here.
we couldn't put a Timbaland bassist on there because we know that
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have a
Oh,
question.
wow.
Who would win in
don't
a
sue
fight?
us.
Who would win in a fight, Lemmy or God?
That's a trick question, man. Lemmy is God.
He's one of us.
think they would just cancel each other out.
Basically, dude. Oh man. And then
All right, Van
So-
Halen or Van Hagar? He ain't one of us.
yeah.
Hey, man. Actually, Van
Fucking
Hagar.
great movie.
Oh, dude, Airheads. Oh yeah.
I'm partial to the Van Halen because my son's name is Halen.
Nice.
I'm actually wearing a Van Halen shirt right now. So.
Everybody always says they're like,
Van Halen.
which era did you name him after? I was like, shut up. Like
got
them both.
the best of both worlds.
I love Sammy Hagar though, so can't hate it. Van Hagar is definitely my favorite era because David Lee Roth, as much as I love him, and don't sue us or put out any fucking weird videos of dancing and doing whatever shit he does, he just screeches, man.
Dude, fucking Hagar is all around bad mother. I just saw
Montrose.
the best of all worlds. I just saw that with Satriani and Bonham on drums and Michael Anthony and Hagar. And dude, they did everything, even what Roth shit up all the way through, and it was just and you got Satriani, which if there's anybody that's gonna replicate Eddie, it's gonna be him. And he did. He was fucking
Hagar's
bad.
74, 75 years old.
Just turned 77.
That's fucking wild.
77.
Still rocking.
He's out selling tequila and probably doesn't even need Viagra. So,
I was
Dude,
gonna say,
he
dude,
was just
that's
handing out bottles to the front crowds. He's like poured shots on them and shit.
That tequila keep you young.
man, Miles tequila. But I mean, come on, dude. Hagar back. Some of my favorite Hagar shit was back when he was in Montrose.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny
Oh,
Montrose.
looks like we got Brick here with us.
Dang.
Hello.
How's it,
Brick
how's it
in the
going,
house?
man?
Bad motor scooter.
We got Brick in the house.
Well,
Yeah.
hello. Oh shit, that's what you really
Oh.
look like. Damn, you're ugly, Cody.
Ew.
That's what you look like.
There you go.
Is
You
that
got Brick.
Jeepers Creepers?
Oh, what is that? This is normal. Whoa.
Oh, he's got the
Missing
warrior
all
shirt
the
on.
fun, brother.
He's got the fucking
The
warrior
warrior.
shirt on.
What's
Jesus.
going on, Brick? What's going on, brother?
What's up?
How's it going,
Man,
man?
you're missing all the fun, man.
What was that?
Hey,
You're
Rick,
missing all the fun, brother.
tell him your horror story from a tour.
A horror story from a tour?
One of
Or,
our
yeah.
tours.
The shittiest thing. Now we heard about Vito accidentally taking a shit in a glory hole. Cody losing the mask. Mr. Rummel's had a bunch of horrible shit happen. So
I create the horror.
what happened to you?
Well, there was one time we met this pimp called Upgrade, and he tried to shoot us all. He tried to extort us for $100 each because we were ham boned after a show, probably fucking some floozies or something. I don't know. We tried to do the hotel lock multiple times. Didn't work. We're all fucked up on all sorts of illicit substances. And he came out and he wanted to fight us and he wanted to extort us because apparently we scared his girls. It happened.
That was in Texas.
Yeah, that was in Texas.
Fort Worth, Texas.
Over a long story and a lot of fighting later, I offered him a half-eaten turkey sub, and he was not happy, and he walked away. It worked.
Here's the thing, though.
Name Upgrade. That's a hell of a pimp name.
Yeah, it was 2 days for a double dose of pimping.
What's funny is that the guy didn't know we had $4,000 cash on us from merch sales, and we had a shit ton of gear that he could have easily like taken from us if he really wanted to be like fucking a hustler. But
yeah, we told him that we're flat broke.
That gives whole new meaning to not a pimp named Slickback, but a pimp named Upgrade.
I like that.
Upgrade will find you.
Oh man.
There was one time I walked around the corner and Rommel was loading things butt naked.
Oh yeah,
that was
that's
a bad time. That was honestly a good time.
Rommel's always naked.
Ain't nothing wrong with showing your asshole raw, man.
No, it's wiener. He's always
it's a
lot of wiener.
no.
Oh yeah,
Oh man.
He's keeping it kosher.
Although
basically.
Justin found me trying to give him the goat, and he whipped me in the sack.
Oh god.
Where's this Vito character at?
Pedo. It's Pedo.
Vito. Sorry, Vito. I don't know why I'm thinking Vito. I'm a huge Sopranos fan.
He gets called all sorts of shit. Like some girl was calling him pizza. I'm like, it's Pito. I get Pito. Pito. P-I-T-O.
So Pito is missing. He's the one that took the shit in the glory hole.
No. It was a bathroom stall that had no fucking door on it.
I know. I'm just being a smart ass.
He also likes to poop in the girls' bathroom.
Oh yeah, he does do that.
It's a big thing for him.
That's his favorite thing to
did it
do.
Twice. Same tour.
All right, now serious question, gentlemen. Is you guys, and we all move into this 2025 year of greatness, hopefully. Is there something that you guys are looking forward to the most besides fentanyl? Oh. Is there something that you guys are looking forward to as you get into the new year and it starts expanding, whether it's musically, getting out on the road, just anything?
I'd say just putting out a shit ton of music, honestly, like fucking playing shows and pissing off as many people as we can piss off.
And media, lots of videos, everything.
You guys need to hook up with what's his face,
More groupies that aren't just dudes.
Oh yeah.
No more upgrades.
Don't want that.
Rommel, unfortunately, has only broken into the dude groupie aspects. He's still a newbie.
They're all like I'm doing laps on them. They're repeats. This,
You guys need to reach out to AJ Good, who does that House of Mask, man. He does that Pillfest, man. I think you guys would do good paired up with like a Swollen Teeth, man. You guys just seem to fit that. Boom, man.
I'm familiar with AJ. I don't know him personally, but I'm aware of who he is. He did a show out at this museum that does it, like it's kind of like the House of Mask that he has.
Yeah,
but it's a different guy out in, I believe he's in Ohio, I want to say. But his name is Perry. David Perry, and he's got a museum with all sorts of mushroom head masks, Slipknot masks. He's got, I think, Static X mask. He's actually got my mask. I've never sold my mask before, except to this guy, and I did it as a favor because Waylon hit me up and said, "Hey, this guy wants to buy a mask. Would you do it?" Blah blah blah. So I sold him 2 of my masks, and he has them on display there with alongside like mushroom head masks and Static X and whatnot. So I think AJ Good did like a show there or a YouTube thing there. And it actually popped up on there, and I was like, "Oh shit, I'm on." He did the museum that David Perry has it on, and my mask is right there. You can see it on. So that would be pretty cool to do the Pillfest though. But my new mask maker is actually really involved in that, so maybe he can make it happen. I don't know.
I've only talked to him via social media, responding in comments, but that dude is like such a fucking cool, down to earth Midwest fucking dude.
He seems like he's really cool. Yeah, he's
And I love
he's
his
all about it.
attitude and everything he does. Shout out to AJ Good in the House of Mass. He is fucking killer, man. I'd love to see you guys there, man.
That would be badass. He's definitely dedicated to what he does, because I see that he's very involved with the collection aspect of it, with promoting, events that he's a part of, and
He just
he's
loves
tight with
what he
Sid.
does, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's what you got to do, man. Love what you do.
So where can we see you guys on tour next year? Are you guys going to be coming anywhere towards the Detroit area?
We don't know about any tours yet, so potentially we are considering some things that have been brought to our attention that potentially we can jump on if they go through. We just haven't officially signed anything, so we don't really know what next year holds, other than some options here and there. I know we don't want to tour by ourselves again, so if we go out on tour, it would be with a national act that has a name behind them, to make sure that when we're playing these shows, there's going to be guaranteed crowds and whatnot. But as far as shows, I can't promise anything other than I know for sure we'll play regionally at least. And then any badass offers that come our way, we're more than happy to explore those options if it makes sense.
We have like 30 seconds to shoot back up and do your quaaludes before we all come back.
I was going to say, shoot back up, huh?
Shoot back up. All right, welcome back, guys. There was a little bit of a commercial break there, I guess you can say. All right, so let's
Ozempic commercial.
yeah, commercials. So let's get back into it, guys. I mean, you got anything to start us off with, Dan, too?
Yeah, so actually, I do want to ask a little bit about the band history and the name. Your guys' name has a powerful message, from what I can understand, in listening to in the music and the vocals and the themes of the music. So what is the message behind the name, and how did you guys arrive there? And what message are you guys trying to put out?
Well, when I came up with the name, I had been playing around with ideas since like 2008, before I even had music for it. And I remember I watched a lot of documentaries on like just things that are going on around the world. And I was playing a lot of Call of Duty back then as well. And I just remember seeing so much shit about like how people hated us Americans around the world because of our attitudes about how, we have to be the heroes. We have to be like, the biggest, the baddest, have to have this and have to have that, and just be the biggest badasses in the world. And so I'm like, dude, I want to take something that has a meaning behind that, like with the name, and just like, the attitude of it, and just really do it. So I thought of like all different ideas of how I can use American in a way. And then I thought about like, what about if I just did like something like something that goes over the top? What would that be? And so the word overdose kind of just played in my head. And I'm like, well, I started messing around with different things, American this, American that. And then when I put Amerakin Overdose together, I'm like, yes, that's it. That's fucking it.
The world's overloaded. They're overdosed on American.
On American culture, the attitude, the everything, man. And so, and I knew that a lot of the things that I'd be talking about in the lyrics were going to be about, the attitude that we have, like, I'm going to kick your ass. I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks. I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to say what I want. I'm going to, just put it out there. And that's really like a lot of the lyrical themes. And, the message behind Amerakin Overdose, I would say, is, to think for yourself. We don't preach politics. People automatically think right away because they see the flag or whatever. They think like, oh, are they a political band? I'm not going to tell people who to vote for, what to think, what to believe, what religion to do. I always tell people, do what you do. Think for yourself. Don't let other people tell you how to think. And whatever you do, fucking do it proudly and fucking turn up the notch and shove it in people's faces. Who gives a fuck if people like it or not? So that's always been my mentality with things. And when I encourage people, I was just telling them, do you. Don't try to be someone else. Don't listen to what other people tell you to do. Be yourself and fucking be at yourself at the fucking at the full volume.
So it sounds like the name has a message of what we're sick of, but it also has a message of positivity. Like, we're American, but whatever you're going to do and you're proud of, overdose the shit out of everybody and put it in their fucking face.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
We're going to turn a negative on how people see us and just overkill the positive and put it in your fucking face. take it for how you want it, believe what you want, express yourself how you want, and just
be
there's the
100%,
overdose.
110%, 200% at all times. Don't do anything half-assed. Fucking, if you're about something, be all about it. If you're not about something, be completely against it. But don't fucking. No one likes someone in the middle.
No, baby. Sorry.
Don't buy the one ply.
But it might mean something else to the other guys, so I'll let them, speak what their thoughts are too.
A lot of the times, realistically, it's just like Cody said, an overdose of American culture. How cars have to be bigger, stronger, faster, better. McDonald's got to give you a fucking bucket for $1 of food. How everything and it revolves all around that. We like to point out a lot of the a lot of the hypocrisies that are going on as well, and different things and different themes that we always grew up on, like how like the Norman Rockwell and all the paintings and the American family, and how that used to be the American
White picket fence.
Yep, exactly.
What we are, and you just take that and blow it up to overdose on the American culture itself.
There's a lot in American culture to promote it. Yeah, man, like this dude is like, it's a cartoon picture. I just watched there's a good documentary on Hugh Hefner, dare I say his
name. We just saw that
Playboy magazine got started.
Yep.
And how he started it, and then how he got ads to make Playboy bigger to get more revenue. And you flip it over and they're showing ads of these magazines, how culture was back in the day. This dude's got like 4 women around him and he's drinking, and there's some scantily clad dressed women, but yet his wife's serving him all dinner. And it was Advil.
That kind of shit, dude. That's exactly what we're talking about. We actually just did a photo shoot where we're all around a table.
Even today, if I saw that ad, I would believe it and be like, oh, hell yeah, let's go.
Exactly.
I'm going to get myself some drinks and a suit and a pipe, and I get hose.
even the medication commercials. I was watching, what was it, the Super Bowl last year, and had the wife and the kid, and we're sitting there watching. It's supposed to be family. It's a nationally broadcast game. I don't have anything against people with it, but there was like 4 or 5 commercials for like, hey, yeah, AIDS medication. Hey, yeah, get your dick working, erectile dysfunction pills. And I'm like, shit, I'm trying to explain to my kid what's going on at the third quarter and who has the ball and what their odds are. And I'm like, it's 4 commercials about dick enhancers and AIDS pills and weight loss pills. And then there was a funny commercial for whatever product was being sold, but it was like, get your dick card. Hey, if you got AIDS, man, it'll be, I'm just like, what the fuck? This is American culture.
You could put that in there to interpret it that you need medicine to take care of your dick AIDS because it needs to lose weight.
I'm like,
dude, as you were talking about that, I don't know if you saw that. I got video of my dog pumping the shit out of his little bunny rabbit that he's got over there. Just as you were talking about that, I'm like, see, even the dog has been exposed to so much sex that he just
quit using your dick, or you're gonna quit using your dick, or you'll get AIDS.
Well, it goes back to American culture. I take for granted growing up in the late 80s and 90s when we used to complain about how lame the new Pepsi commercial was. And then in the late 90s, it was the ASPCA Sarah McLachlan singing about dogs and crying about it. Oh, man, this is so lame, man. We want to see the halftime show. Now it's like, shit, I don't want to see any of these commercials, man.
Oh, like when Prince was on the halftime?
Dude, remember how sexual the fucking Carl's Jr. commercials were in the 90s?
Yeah.
Oh, those Carl's Jr. commercials, yeah.
Those are fucking great, dude. If it doesn't get all over the place, it doesn't belong in your face.
I believe Dave Chappelle had that skit. Remember when they had the McDonald's was like, it was when they were trying to boost their employment for young people. And it was this commercial about how this dude got a job flipping burgers and changed his whole life around and got
in the hood. And they fucking rob his ass and shit.
Yeah, and then Dave Chappelle made a whole skit about, what was it, Whack Arnold's?
Arnold's
got a job.
Oh, Jesus. He's all, what? You've been fucking OJ because he finds the glove and the wife's in the kitchen, dude. Dave Chappelle was a fucking shit. I love that show.
But those commercials were so corny back in the day. Growing up watching that stuff.
Do you guys remember the Durex and the like the Durex commercials and also the was it Garnier Fructis commercials?
I vaguely remember the Durex ones. Yeah.
Yeah, but then it was like the Garnier ones. You know, it's like a very organic experience or something like that.
Oh God.
Well, I don't believe the Durex commercials stuck around long enough because they probably got sued for their message being a lie or their product.
Well, I probably
That's
discouraged
true.
a lot of us, including myself, from using condoms.
Durex.
Jesus. Oh,
I
yeah.
said that a couple of years ago. One of my coworkers bought some off-brand tires for his off-road truck, and I'm like, "What brand are those? Those ain't Bridgestones. Those ain't Michelin's." He's like, "I don't know, but I got them on sale." I said, "What are those? Durex?"
Yeah.
Man. So eat. Yep. Love that. Oh man.
Got them
So-
Durex 4x4s.
that was like that kind of was not, or have things gone wrong when you guys have played like other bands? Like have there been ones you didn't like playing with, or that didn't sound good or anything like that?
I mean, I've always, for the most part, luckily we've had good experiences as far as I can tell or remember. With playing, like, are you talking about like with national acts?
Yeah, national acts. Like, have there been any that have been like, like not necessarily friendly with you guys? Like, have some been pretty shitty to you guys?
No, I've been lucky where every time we played with someone, if anything, we've gotten a lot of compliments because they always think at first, like, they're like, oh, you're a fucking local band or whatever. They think that we're gonna be out there and like fuck things up, like go over our time, take forever to unload or load our stuff on stage. But we're actually really quick, and they always give compliments about how quickly we're able to unload as soon as we're done, and we're good about playing for our time. I won't name the band, but there was a band one time that did, and this is normal from what I hear. They did tell us that we had to tone down our show as far as like the lights and some of our stage antics because we can't outshow the headliner band, which I heard is pretty normal for like a stage manager to be telling, or a tour manager to be telling the other bands. But that's the only weird thing I thought. But after that, I talked to some people about it. They're like, oh, that's normal for that to happen. So other than that, no. But I'll let the other guys see what
Yeah, there
their
hasn't
stories.
been that one time there hasn't really been anything else. We put a lot of craziness into our shows, so I mean it's understandable. You didn't want to upstage them.
It's true. That's true.
Been too many. There's been sound guys that are fucking assholes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I can tell you so many stories about sound guys. Oh my God, there's been one where I nearly almost attacked one in a show. You know? It was just like
There's
brand
that
new.
venue in Detroit that has a really good sound guy.
Mhm.
No
Which one?
comments.
Oh God.
Not going to say the name.
Well, there's been a few I've been
Johnny
bitched at.
Sound Guy, huh? Sound Guy.
Johnny Sound Guy. We all know a Johnny Sound Guy.
But you
Fisher-Price.
well, you mentioned
Fisher.
earlier though before Cody that Johnny Santos is now is producing the record for you guys.
Yeah, he's co-producing the album with us. He lives here in Portland, so he doesn't live actually that far from me. So it's been easy to go out there. And I've been talking to him for a while, like because I run into him at shows, and he kept telling us he wanted to work with us, and he's like, I can do this and do that, and I always wanted to work with him. It's just we were already in the middle of working on the Artificial Infection album and finishing that up. So as soon as the album came out, I hit him up and I said, dude, let's start working on some new material. Like, even though we just put out the album last month, I'm ready for us to start preparing tracks for 2025. And I know earlier you mentioned what, I didn't get to say what my thoughts are on music and releasing singles versus albums. My regret is that we released the album as a whole. We did release some singles. I think we released 5 singles with Artificial Infection, but we had so many more songs on that album that could have been singles as well. And we would have just done the whole release every 6 to 8 weeks. We could have made videos for each one of those and promoted those properly. I'm in the belief that, like Rommel said, that people's attention span is so short that you do need to keep putting out material. And if you put something out like a whole album with 12 songs that you put all this hard work into, all this money into it, they'll listen to it for a month, and then it's like, all right, what else you got? What else you got? And it's not even just that with the fans. It's like that with with radio, with if you're pushing out to labels or new management or promoters and all that. They want to know what you're doing now, not what you did yesterday or last week. You know what I mean? So going forward, I feel like for us, and if you look around, like with even the big bands, it's what it is. It's people are putting out singles. They put out single, and it's because a lot of it too is Spotify. In order to be in the favor of the algorithm where you're getting put on playlists and people are seeing your music, you have to release between 6 and 8 weeks. If you go too long, then you have to reset and whatnot. So I feel like we're going to probably be doing that from here on out, and that way we can treat every song, like, give it the right promotion. You know what I mean? Like, we can invest in PR, we can invest in doing a video, we can invest in playlist submissions, versus if we just put out and you pick out which one you want. If I'm pushing something constantly every single day on you with different material, and it's the same song, it's more likely to stick and be, something that people can relate to and get to the right audience versus if I just
Instead of
put out an
having
album.
13, 14 songs taken all at once.
Exactly. So with working with Johnny, he's taking us up to a whole nother level. He's a Grammy, he's from a Grammy nominated band. The guy is not just a vocalist, he's also a guitar player, and he's a songwriter, and he knows what a hit he is. He knows how to get the performance out of you. And
Our
I've
hit.
never
This is our hit. Sorry, I had to say it.
And working with him as my vocalist, like he has taken my voice from like here to like a whole nother level, and he's able to get the performance piece out of me, and so he's able to communicate with me in a way from a vocalist to a vocalist versus me working with a producer where a producer is going to tell you, well, do this note or try this or try that. It's a lot different when you're working with someone that is a vocalist and can communicate on your level. So the new stuff that we have, like we're bringing in a lot of harmonies. We're stretching my voice out to a whole nother level that I've never done before. We actually did an acoustic track that we've never done in our history of Amerakin Overdose, so I'm excited about that. We have some really heavy songs. We have some songs that are just rocking that are a bit perfect for like a strip club. We got a track that's going to be great for radio. It's like I've heard it compared to like a Linkin Park feel to it, and it just the new stuff's just going to be so over the top. Like I can promise you, it's just going to be great. It's going to be really great.
Ain't there's something to be said about working with other musicians that are more accomplished or more skilled than what you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Even at our age, I can tell you this right now. Back in the day, me and Colin used to have a situation going where we were jamming. Colin has always been light years ahead of me, even though he plays bass and I play guitar. So when I would get in a room with him, oh, fuck. Well, I guess I'm not hungover now. I better be on my fucking A game because he's getting ready to throw me through the fucking ropes.
That is 100% true. That's 100% true. So
myself.
So the cool thing about this lineup of bands that we have right now is that they're, like I mentioned earlier, they're multi-instrumentalists. Like Brick plays guitar, Brick plays drums, Brick can play bass, Brick can play keyboards. Rommel is a bass player, but also he's mostly a drummer. He's primarily a drummer. And Justin, our guitar player, plays guitar, but he also can do a little bit of drums. So we have musicians right now that are just talented in multiple ways that they can throw ideas back and forth, and then in turn it makes me want to be even better because I'm like, holy shit, all right, we're playing with really good musicians. I got to fucking step up my game. And I think it, like you just said right now, it makes you all around have to feel like you get to perform better, and you learn shit off of each other and bounce ideas off in a better light, and you're able to communicate. So I'm really excited about this. Like we're working with Johnny, and then working with Rommel and Brick and Justin and Pito and all of us, just coming up with ideas and what have you. So we're going to consistently keep writing, and just probably not take a break from writing for the rest of our career. I'm hoping that we just continue to always have music to release new music, because we took a break there for almost 5 years, and it was the worst 5 years of my life. I got into addiction. I got addicted to shit, and I was depressed, and a lot of bad shit happened when I didn't have music like that was in my life. And I've realized that the only thing that matters to me in my life is obviously my friends and my family, but music is what keeps me together, and that's how I'm able to like feel like I have a purpose.
To piggyback off of what you said there, Cody, yeah, I've had the same situation. I got into a really bad accident when I was living in the Philippines in 2013, and you can't see it, but there's a huge titanium mesh plate on the side of my head here.
Oh wow!
Yeah, there's a huge surgical scar all the way down here. It was like a vehicular
You're
accident.
almost RoboCop.
Basically, yeah, no loitering.
Damn.
But no, what happened was it was just like and I was on top of my game. I was in a band that had just got signed. We were a black metal band called Basilisk, and we had just got signed to a German label, and so I'm already coming off of that. I'm already coming off the hype of this. Like, oh my god, this is cool. We were already getting the album planned out. We were getting everything already ready to go, and then all of a sudden I wake up in the hospital a few days later.
Damn.
And I was like, what the heck happened? And then it went completely downhill from there. I've tried to return, and I can't, and I haven't been able to come back. You know what I mean? But it's just like ever since it's just kind of, and so, when we started this podcast and stuff, this actually originally started out as a radio show, through metalmessiahradio.com. props to them. Thank you guys so much for getting me started. But it was like, and then I wanted to resurrect it, and I contacted Dan, and I'm just like, dude, let's do this as a podcast, man, because this is the only other way I can really do it right now. Especially since I have two sons, two young kids. Everything like that is kind of, I still play, but I do like mostly home recording and stuff like that now, until they're old enough for me to go back into it full time. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, when the time
Mhm.
is right, it'll happen,
Mhm.
dude. If you have that drive and that passion, you can make it happen for sure. And a
Mhm.
setback is not necessarily like always a bad thing, because then other things
Mhm.
come from that, and you can utilize that to come back in bigger, badder, and fucking more kick ass fashion.
Right, exactly. And that was one of the things that, I was listening to, and this also helps out a lot too, kind of gets that kind of gets those demons in me out a little bit, you know
Hell
what I
yeah,
mean?
hell yeah.
This
Now,
helps
now,
out a lot.
question for
Mhm.
everybody:
Mhm.
has the way the industry's changed with how people consume music affected us as musicians, on how we consume music? And what I mean by that, I grew up from the old school vinyls, cassettes, CDs. We had LimeWire and Napster to destroy computers, but there was always that I want the album aspect. So now when you consume music, how you listen to it, is it changed the way of you're cool with just a single, you're cool with the full album getting released, or are we a bunch of old bats that have just conformed and we're like, hey man, I like it when it gets released like this now? Or do you yearn for the album experience all at once?
I'll let the guys answer that first, and I don't want to hog all the time, so I'll let them answer first.
I enjoy singles, and I'm part of the group that enjoys that more than I guess than you should have. But I do love the whole album experience. But I like I'm very much modern with that. I want to listen to one song from this band because it's fucking amazing, and then I'll go and find out the rest of their album tracks. But most of the time, it's like one offs here and there. What about you, Rommel?
Whoa. I don't know. I would, I find myself not searching for anything really new these modern days with everything get released and stuff. And I always find myself just listening to the old school shit.
Rommel, stop.
And then like the old school bands that are still putting out stuff, there's like like that time in between where I just can't wait to fucking hear another one and going back, but then at the same time it flops on its other side, and then I do find shit. I'm like, well, how in the hell I'd never heard of these fucks? And everyone's like, oh yeah, dude, they've been around forever. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah.
But I'm also old. I don't know.
I'm old school.
But
I like a whole album myself personally. I like a.
all
I
times change. Oh, sorry.
no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I would say like times do change and everything like that, and I have no problems with that because as long as you're still putting out shit, you're still doing what you're doing.
True. That's true. Agree with that.
Keeping
Most,
on, keeping on.
oh yeah. I mean, come on, I've always been that way too, kind of like with the old school. I still have like a whole like two or three of those big like plastic bins that you get from like Walmart full of like CDs at my
Yep.
in-laws house in the Philippines. It's like, oh my God, I have like and I'm the kind of guy that like goes and gets like I'll find like some of the rarest shit you can possibly find, and just like I'm like, dude, this band is awesome. I'm like it sounds like it was recorded in a garage, but this is fucking cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
And
and
it's
then
like,
also like back in the day when they're doing singles or like
mhm,
double singles, I would
mhm.
go to Sam Goody and buy those double singles. I'm
They
like,
usually have content on them.
yeah,
Other
and
content.
then you put them in like when all of, like the DVDs started getting popular, they'd put
Oh
something.
yes, that was my
Oh, dude,
favorite.
one of the
Pantera home
coolest,
videos.
The enhanced
one of the
CDs.
one of the coolest CDs, and it was I don't know if I think it was a limited release. Was when fucking the Meatman's War of the Superbikes 2 came out. You could put it in your DVD, and it would pull up a little program. You download it, and it was Tesco V versus Jesus, and there was like kicking and farting, and then like bitch slapping, and yeah. If you let Jesus win, it kicked you right out, and then if Tesco won, which you always should, because Tesco V is the man. Oh hell yeah, blowjobs ain't cheating. It would be like, I am the devil, that is true. And then it was like, Yeah. I remember that. That was 95, 96.
Damn.
Oh wow. Well, there was like I think was it the Ozman Cometh when they released that Ozzy album like in '97. They had like this. They had this really enhanced thing. You could actually play like a game on it and stuff like that. We had to like crush these. You had to crush these skulls or bones or something like that. And then they had all the like Ozzy videos.
Yeah, so you had to crush up Ozzy's blow for him. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
would just believe it or not, that was somebody's job probably.
right.
And the brown M&Ms.
Yeah, I don't care. That's fucking A. Dude, there was a game that came with Quex or Quest or Chex Mix cereal. It was called like Quest Chex, and it was like Doom oriented, but you shoot like fucking square cereal things at people and it explodes in the slime. That was pretty badass. I played that like it was Doom 1 and 2.
Oh
I was gonna say I do remember them doing that kind of shit like back in like the mid '90s, and that's like right when like PlayStation came out, so people had access to play, CDs that had like other content on them. I remember there was some CDs that like if you put them in, there was like a video included on the CD if you put it in, but they never advertised it. It wasn't like advertised that like if you put the CD in your DVD player or on whatever, it has a video attached to it. I remember I found something. There was a Taproot, something that was on like Taproot, and it had like a mix of the bands, but they had the video and it had the single and other shit like that. So
Spin Magazine.
it might have been Spin. It might have been. It was like late '90s, early 2000s. It was like right when Taproot was coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, they're local boys. They're right up the way for me, man.
Ann Arbor.
Fuck yeah.
Yep, Ann Arbor, Michigan.
My coworker actually shout out to him, old coworker. His name was John Fox. He's actually childhood friends with them and was grew up with them. I mean, he did catechisms, all that shit, birthday parties, childbirths. Was actually with them when they played Ozfest here a couple times. So
Fuck
shout
yeah.
out, Brew.
So, are you familiar with A2 Fest?
Ann Arbor Festival. They used to do a little festival out there.
So there was an A2 Fest in 2013. There was a promoter named John Kuntz who ripped off a shit ton of bands, including us. We did a tour in 2013 from Portland, and we hit a bunch of states all the way out to I think it wasn't Ann Arbor. It was in that Ann Arbor area, but Mushroomhead was on it. Head PE, Taproot.
Oh, wow.
It was a shit ton of bands, dude. Like Green Jello was on it.
Oh yeah.
There was so many bands, and this promoter John Kuntz, everyone knew who he was. I guess everyone was familiar with him ripping bands off and shit. And so we went out there. Primer 55 was on it as well.
Oh my God.
And dude, it was a complete shit show of a festival, but it would have been a great thing if it actually went through. My understanding was the guy didn't have the money to pay all the bands. He only had certain permissions to be on these fairgrounds until next extended period of time. He tried ripping off the big bands, and he ripped off obviously all the local bands. It was a bad shit show, and it was like one of those things like where you just, when you mentioned shit shows, I was going to bring that up, but I was like, it was so long ago. Does it really count? It was over 10 years ago, but yeah, I'll still remember that. But I was wondering since you're from Michigan, if you were familiar with the A2 Fest, because it only happened 1 year.
I've heard about it. It sounds like it was on the outskirts of Ann Arbor, more towards Ypsilanti. That's where I live.
Yeah. I don't really remember the city exactly, but it was in that area. And what's funny is we've actually played Michigan a number of times. We've been all around Michigan because it seems like every time we've like done tours, like especially in the earlier part of the band, we would always end up somewhere in Michigan somewhere. The only place that I really want to play out there for sure that we have not played is the Machine Shop. That's legendary venue. Yeah, legendary venue. So
got to see
Brian. All right, guys, I got
there.
some fun questions here. We're gonna wrap this up with a fun question since we're all wrestling nerds.
Let's do it.
80s up to 1990. Pick two wrestlers that are not in a tag team previously, and what would be their name? So you're going to put two wrestlers together from 1980 up to 1990. They can't previously be in a tag team, and you're going to have to come up with a name. So you can't do the Mega Powers. You can't do the Steiner Brothers. You can't do the Hart Foundation. So you're going to have to come up with some fucking name and put two people together.
I have mine.
Oh, Jake the Snake Roberts and Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
What's their name?
Grip and Rip.
All right. I'm gonna say Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, the Heartbreaking Deadmen.
Deadman.
Just call them pimps.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Scott Steiner and the Ultimate Warrior. We're gonna call it Neon Muscle.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
Or Gold's Gym.
Why don't we say like Hogan and maybe let's see, Hogan and like maybe Bret Hart, call them brothers.
The brothers, brother.
I
Hulk
don't think
Hogan
Hogan can
and
say that
Goldust.
word anymore.
What's that?
I don't think Hogan's allowed to say that word anymore.
Brother.
Hogan and Goldust.
Oh my God. What's that?
Angel dust. There we go.
They call it stripper glitter or something. I don't know.
Stripper Glitter Brothers.
Oh my God. Now I'm tempted to actually put a video on this when I edit that, the gold dust being like dust.
It'd be Hulk Hogan and Miss Elizabeth. We'll call it alimony riches.
Oh man.
Alimony housewives.
Oh my God. That's like the body Donnas, my God. They were playing. Oh jeez. And then there's no, what are the, if I remember correctly, I think it wasn't it Michaels and Jannetty were the Rockers at one point.
Yes.
You know?
And then
Yep.
yeah, Jannetty and then Michaels, and then it was, I remember Shawn Michaels and Diesel for years too, or I thought that little thing there was a tag team. Diesel.
I love Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is my favorite wrestler. Him and Undertaker.
Was there was another one called like was it like the Thrasher Brothers?
Yeah, the Thrashers, where they had the kilts.
Moss and Thrashers.
Kilts.
Those are the headbangers.
The kilts with the the face paint.
Yeah, they're the headbangers.
Yeah, the headbangers. Yeah, the ones with the kilts.
Yep.
No hair.
They used to always wear like Marilyn Manson.
Bushwhackers,
shirts.
remember?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Bushwhackers. Hell
Those are
yeah.
the Bushwhackers. Yeah.
The guys-
His name was Luke and Butch.
Nothing. You can't
The guys
fuck
that
with
would-
Hawk Animal.
the guys that would lick people.
LOD. Legion of Doom.
And we had what was it? We had for the longest time it was Iron Sheik and like two other guys. They were the Taliban before they were the Taliban, but on TV.
Was that when like Sergeant Slaughter came back, like dressed
Oh,
like
yeah.
an Iraqi soldier?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were all dressed up. Colonel Mustafa was his name.
God.
How can you guys forget about the Nasty Boys? I mean, come on, man.
Nasty Boys, yeah. They were punk rock.
The Nasty Boys. What is it? Also, natural disasters, earthquake, and typhoon.
Yep. I just saw a documentary on Earthquake.
On earthquake.
Yeah.
Man.
God, I love those dark side of the rings. I know my favorite one is the most outplayed story in wrestling lore is the plane ride from hell.
Oh yeah, dude, that's fucking crazy to hear about
It just
that.
keeps every time the story gets told again, there's just some new detail. And the one that cracks me up is Ric Flair being
The
butt
wiener.
ass naked,
Yeah,
tucked
with his
up with
wiener.
his dick in the robe. Woo! I'm like, who can even be mad at the guy, man?
They don't get mad at me for doing similar.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's like my wife laughs at me and says, "No, who could be mad at Ric Flair?"
Oh man.
Brock
actually got to
Lesnar
see-
ripped up somebody and almost put him through the emergency door.
Or the stories of like Buff Bagwell's mom, like I think it was like Razor Ramon or something walking to his house and he's bent over, just butt naked. And his mom's like shaving his butthole and his
Oh
nuts.
yeah. Oh God, dude.
He's like, "Hey, what's going on, man?
Well, that's
What
horrible.
you doing?"
God,
So bad.
that was such a wild time because I feel like music was such a big part of like the Monday Night Wars with
Oh,
WCW.
dude.
Dude, that's what
Hell yeah.
shit was hitting
all
good.
that shit. I still have. I wonder what it's worth. My dad used to be friends with this party store owner, and I got an original Slim Jim cylinder aluminum can that the Slim Jims came in it, and it's got Randy Savage and Gorgeous George, that blonde bombshell.
Oh shit.
With him as his escort to the ring, and it's the Slim Jim actual promotional can. I'm like, shit, that's got to be worth something.
Dude, that was one thing. Is like
Slim Jim. Whoa, yeah.
back in the day, they would have like music was so involved in like movies and video games and wrestling, and that's where like I'd find out about all these like bands too, is like through video games or through like wrestling pay-per-views would have the promo song that they're using for the pay-per-view and shit like that. And I don't feel like they have that anymore. I don't even know if they do that, and if they do, it's usually some fucking rap or some, not even rap, because it's not even rap anymore. It's like trap music.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
today's trap music is I don't want to hate on it, but it's kind of garbage. We grew up
There's
on
no more rap. It's trap music. They call it trap music, but it's not rap.
I grew up on Project Pat. I was actually scared that he would roll up on me in a square body Caprice and shoot me if I didn't sell him perks.
Damn.
This shit nowadays, they sound like robots. I'm like, I'm supposed to be scared of you. I'm scared of Project Pat.
Yeah, rap doesn't exist to me anymore. There's no more real rap. It died with the fucking early 2000s.
Very far and few in between.
Early 2000s, my God, man. Like, I mean, come on, man. Like, I grew up around like Snoop Dogg and all the other stuff like Dr. Dre.
Well, I love Kevin
NWA.
Gates. Kevin Gates and stuff like that. There's still a lot of good people out there, but you have to sift through it. Even with our rock music and shit like that. I heard that what's fucking Hinder or 3 Days Grace. So they start a riot. I'm like, really? That's like just as bad as this fucking mumble rap. It's stupid.
Yeah, the whole rap thing completely died in the 2000s, like early 2000s to me. And like after that, it's like it turned into something completely different. And whenever I hear it, I'm just like, for one, it all sounds the same. For two, they repeat the same shit. The lyrics don't even have any meanings to it. And
Andre 3000 put out a fucking flute album and depressed me.
A what?
A flute album.
A flute album?
Well, let me tell you this. I was so stoked for Andre 3000's releasing a new album. So I bought me a 6-pack of beer on my way home from work, had it saved on my Amazon. I'm going to go home and listen. Ooh, I'm going to get some of that Outkast goodness. And I sit down and I put it on, and I thought my drunk ass put on the wrong fucking album. It's him playing a fucking flute.
Oh, my God.
You want to know, like a part of that story? Do you remember being excited to go home and hear the album that you want to go hear, but you had it in your fucking hands, and you didn't want to play it until you heard it on the one stereo you wanted?
The good stereo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that was just shit. That's like some fucking Great Southern Trendkill Day shit. Hell yeah.
Blow out my parents. My parents used to have this badass Magnavox speaker record player, dual disc CD cassette thing with the EQ, and I'd wait till my parents would go to work. And crank it up.
All right, so it is about that time. Definitely want to thank you guys for coming in here. Thank you so much for appearing. You guys are actually very much welcome to come in anytime you want. Yeah, for sure. We'd love to have you back in. And again, thank you so much for coming to Entering the Darkness. All right. Peace out, you guys. Remember, everybody out there, like and subscribe. These guys are awesome as fuck. I mean, as you can already tell.
Amerakin Overdose.
Support them when they come to your town. All right. Peace out, guys.
Thanks, dude.
Later.
Bye-bye.